Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, like I was saying before, we should talk. This is our Cacao Conversations with Julieta and Graciela. And we go live every Tuesday morning to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. How
It's
you
always
doing
a
up
good
there?
time. It's always a good time. I am doing well. It is about 50 degrees this morning in North Carolina. So I have
Beautiful.
just a simple little almost summery scarf on, but just a tiny little extra layer. We're enjoying it. The cacao is nice and warm, so it's a really nice way to start the day.
We have Erin tuning in already. I love when our fans show up.
Good morning. So are you
So
still on a high?
I'm just like the this past weekend, the Activate the Goddess Within retreat was just phenomenal. I'm I knew it was going to be good, but it blew my expectations out of the park. It was amazing.
I have to say that the more of this type of work that we do, the more surprised I am. I always tell my photography clients, like, be prepared and leave a little room for magic. And I think for all of the work that we're doing in body and soul ministries, leave a lot of room for magic. Like, there's so many things that happen that we could not have predicted, connections that were made, and just friendships that were made, fun that was had. I don't want to give away too many secrets, but we had lots of surprises, and those came out really fun and cool. So yeah, it was
Well,
great.
and um talk about magic when the fireworks went off nearby, like just as we were completing one of our events, that like that was just a pure sign of magic there. And then when we had we're talking about nature today, and so we had a water ceremony without revealing too many details about it, but at the moment of the water ceremony, the rain, it was just this torrent. It was perfectly sunny outside, and then it was just this torrential downpour for the water ceremony, and then it became a sunny day again.
Yeah, it was just a wash, it was just a cleansing. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And what was really great is being so present in the moment to realize everything that was going on, right? Because it like, just everything is such a great lesson. The more caught up you are in your head, the less you're missing the beauty that's happening around you. And I loved how this retreat didn't have any sort of application process. We didn't necessarily pick and choose who got to come. Everyone that signed up was admitted, and they could not have been a better group together. Like, everyone that was there added so much value, and so much value to each other beyond what we could have scripted. And God, I love a script. I mean, I've got, this is me. I love it. And I'm so grateful that we left so much space for magic, and that so much magic did manifest, from sound baths to rain to fireworks to blood, sweat, and tears. And it was really beautiful and life-changing. So many of the women on their way out were just like, oh my God, these last couple of days changed my whole life. And that's huge.
Absolutely. And how do you feel having co-created that?
It feels really, really good, really satisfying. And I think the biggest lesson I learned is just to stay in the flow. The more I stayed in the flow, the easier and more natural everything was. I was even thinking on my travel day back, my travel day started at 5 and I got home a little bit after like 12:30 around there. And I dare say I was literally smiling the entire time, like Uber ride, TSA line, 2 airports, Atlanta and all of that. I was able to find my car in this sea of vehicles, like just everything kept flowing. There's this one oat milk that I really love for my cacao, and it's not within 2 hours of where I live. So in Atlanta, I stopped at a Whole Foods and I was like, please carry this, please have it on the shelf. I got there, I found 6 cartons of it. I literally cleaned them out. Like, again, just flow leading to flow leading to flow. After the retreat, I had a beautiful photo shoot with a gorgeous client, pregnant, big yummy belly, like just again flow, right? So the more I'm in flow, the more flow shows up for me. I think that was my big takeaway. I mean, who the heck smiles during traffic? And I was smiling.
I love it.
And how about you? How's your buzzing?
Oh my God. And yesterday I had the fullest day at the office, but I had this concern, am I going to be able to hold the energy for the full day? I started with new clients, and I had my healing circle, which is a group of people, so that takes an extra level of energy at the end of the day. I had someone from out of the country come in, and then I'm like, I got to really hold energy for this person because they've traveled so far to see me. And but yeah, I was just so high from the energy of all of that. It was just easy peasy. Now, yes, when I got home at the end of the day yesterday, I was ready to crash. But also I just, I've been I've done individual work for over 30 years, and probably about 5 years ago started receiving guidance from my spirit guides that I needed to start doing work in groups. And there's the piece of me that I understand when you gather people together in groups, that amplifies the energy and amplifies everything that occurs there. But there's always that doubt of, how do I actually make this happen? How do I make it work? And honestly, the energy in every group that I've, between the cacao ceremonies, the chakra balancing, the healing circles, and these retreats, the energies, what happens is just off the charts now. And we talked about this a little bit, society has grown so, there, I'm going to put that up there. Everything techie and the pandemic and all of this stuff has really created such separation and such lack of community. And, you talk all the time about how, when people lived in teepees and you could hear what was happening in the tent next to you. And so everybody was tuned in and supporting each other. And, we've really drifted away from that as humans, and just bringing this community together and seeing how much people are just thriving and creating that connection with the groups. And definitely there's going to be more of that.
It's interesting, how I always say, the irony of us having lived as humans in a certain way for, thousands of years. And then, industrial revolution, technology, the last 100 years of technology, everything else kind of separated us. And now, quote unquote, science is starting to prove the things that we already knew back in the ancient days, And one of the ones I saw, I think I reposted it, was the more women gather, the more often they gather and the larger the groups, the longer women live. And I just, again, like, it's something that we innately know, because when we're together, we feel good. And it's just really powerful to have science remind you of that. So for all my sciencey women that are like, they want to know, is it worth it? Yeah, it's worth it, and leading a long miserable life, no, do not recommend. But gathering, leading a long happy life, yeah, amazing, powerful. Like, and it takes nothing. Like, you don't have to do a lot of effort to get together with someone. You don't have to go to a bar. You don't have to meet at a restaurant. You could just come to my porch and sit here and look at the tree and drink some dandelion tea. That's it. And that literally will extend your life,
Yeah, I like when you said that, that reminded me of, as kids, like how much time everybody in the neighborhood spent outdoors, and, people would be out on their front porches, and, people would be out for their walks, and they would see you out on their porch, and they would stop and pause and have conversation, or maybe get invited up for a cup of coffee or whatever. We didn't have cacao back then. So yeah, just like creating these opportunities for community and connection is so, so vital.
I know you popped up Erin's comment. She says, this convo about energy and flow makes me curious if you ladies know what your human design is. She's a generator. I have not done that work. Have you?
I have had my chart done, and I know that I'm a generator too, but like, I don't remember all the details. And the funny story is, I through talking with Erin, learned that there are specific manifestors and non-specific manifestors. And so I just had this curiosity, because like, if you're a specific manifestor, when you're working on manifesting something, you have to get very detailed about, very specific about what it is that you're trying to manifest. Whereas when you're a non-specific manifestor, if you put, I'll just share that quick. If like, it's detrimental to put in all of the details. And so like, I had to know which I was, partially because I like getting down to all the nitty-gritty details. I'm going to say my guess is that you, Graciela, are a specific manifestor, whereas I'm a non-specific manifestor, and which is perfect because we balance each other out. So I don't know a lot about it yet, but what was funny, so when you have your chart done, it looks very much like the Kabbalah tree of life. Because someone this weekend, I put up that Kabbalah tree of life little drawing, because it does relate to some of the work that we were doing over the weekend. And someone looked at it and they're like, this looks like a human design chart. So human design incorporates astrology, but a lot of other things as well. And I don't know enough to speak in any detail, but it's a lot of fun. With all of these things, astrology, numerology, life path breathing. When I look at mine, because from time to time I'll pause. I'm like, yeah, let me go back and look at this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, you can't make up how much it reflects who I am. I'm just like, this is nuts.
Yeah. And I suppose, things like that, whether you believe it or not, it's quote unquote, right? Like with anything else, it's good inspiration. So sometimes you just need that little reminder or a little nudge in one direction or another as you're, making your decisions and things like that. So,
well, and they're really useful tools to help you. how do things flow and go easier for you? And so when you understand that, it's like, you know how to direct your energy to get the best results. So
Beautiful.
we're here talking and talking, and our advertised topic for the day was to share a recent experience where you felt deeply connected to nature. And I'm like, you're all out there, like surrounded by total nature. I'm sure you have plenty of stories to share, but what you got?
Oh, I have so many stories I could share. But you know what I love about this question is that it says when you were deeply connected to nature and not just admiring nature, right? Which in and of itself is incredibly valuable and beautiful, but connected to me means so much more, you know? And I think a recent experience for me was that I was at a property that um, I was evaluating. How do I say this? I was evaluating this property to see if it would integrate into my life. And when I walked in, there was an area, you know, it was forested. And when I walked into this area, there was like a natural circle that like there were no trees in the middle, and I didn't see any stumps. So I didn't get the impression that trees had been chopped down in this area, but it appeared to be a natural circle. And it's, you know, it was summertime, and so the trees were all very green and very full here. The ground thick with lots of old fallen leaves and things like that. So, you know, when you walk, there's a crunch, 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 you know, kind of announces that you're coming. And so I walk into this circle just, you know, right at the edge of it. And I swear to you on my children's lives that the edges of the trees off to my left, the lower branches literally went like this, like if you're just listening, please come look at this video right at this time, whatever time we're at. They literally went like that and just opened their arms up, almost like a bow. That's how I felt it, almost like welcome, like you are welcome here. And I looked around because, of course, my little sciencey brain was like, wait a minute, you're making that up. That can't be real. But there was no wind, and these were big, strong branches. This was not a light, feathery tree that like had a bird landed on it, it would have pushed the branch down. It wasn't. It was a strong tree. So I very much felt connected in that moment. It was very magical to me. Yeah, you can't tear that one away from me. That one was real. Yeah. What about you?
So, um, so what I'm going to share is, and also because it ties in a little bit to an announcement that I think that we're going to make, that we haven't talked about yet. But so for those that don't know, I do have a traditional sweat lodge in my backyard. You know, we have a chief who comes and runs the ceremony, and I'm not going to go into full details here, but a sweat lodge is literally like, it's a healing ceremony that you go in and sit with hot rocks and sweat your butt off. And but it's done in a very like sacred way with the intention of creating healing. And so for those that know me, I do not like heat at all. Like why I live in Florida, I have no idea. But but I do always feel really drawn to these indigenous rituals and healing practices. And so this was the second one. And you know, partway through, I just start hyperventilating and I'm just sobbing. And like my friend sitting next to me, she's like, slow your breath, slow your breath. And in my mind, I'm like, I know, but I can't. Like I physically am not capable of doing it at this moment. And so at some point, I just dug my hands into the dirt And but the chief came over to me, like I didn't even know, because I was like, I had my head down, my eyes closed, I'm just sobbing. And he comes over and he starts pouring the water over me. And as all of this happened, like I had this absolute cellular, like in my head, I understood the four elements, but at that moment, I understood earth, I understood water, I understood air, I understood fire. Like every cell of my being thoroughly understood those elements and what they meant to me and life in general. And it's one of those things, like even putting words to it does not like fully embrace like what that moment was for me. But I absolutely in that moment felt completely connected to all of earth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And we're part of it. We have all of those things inside of us. That's amazing.
Absolutely. So do you want to tell everybody, or should I tell everybody?
Well, since you bring it up, so we are hosting we are hosting a retreat in June of 2025. So plenty of time. It's only September. You have plenty of time to look and think and save a spot. It is going to be a bit exclusive. We're only having 9 participants, maybe 11, I think, if some things line up. But the point is, it's going to be really limited to keep it super intimate. But it is going to be up here in my direction. It's going to be in the North Georgia mountains. And it is all about the 4 elements and awakening the goddess within. So it's going to have lots and lots of ceremonies. It's going to be at a gorgeous, gorgeous location. I personally have stayed at this location. So it's not just something that we Googled. It's something I have personal experience in. And it is just an absolutely stunning location.
I cannot wait. And I'm going, and Jen will be here before we know it. But if you head over to votgpodcast.com and click on retreats, you will find the webpage for that on there that has all the details. And I'm super excited. It's in June, so for us, down here sweating in Florida, we can get out of the heat and get up in the mountains. And it is summertime, so it will be warm there too, but we'll have nice, cool, crisp nights and mornings. And I can't wait.
Yeah, the facility has a gorgeous waterfall. It has beautiful, well-maintained trails. So we'll be doing some light, easy hiking. I even hesitate to use the word hiking because it's more just like a really nice walk. The food, all prepared, all local ingredients, nothing out of a box, God forbid. And then I'll be doing a guided forest therapy experience. We will also have a sound bath, we'll have breath work, and of course, we'll have a fire ceremony. So every element represented. And we're also going to have some surprises there too. So that'll be really exciting. Really, really beautiful. A nice way to give a vacation and a retreat and something really good for yourself.
Absolutely. Yay. All right. You got anything else you want to share today?
I think we've held on to folks long enough. Thank you guys so much for listening. Everything that we've talked about is on our website. You can check all that out. And, we're just people. So you can find us. You can reach out to us and ask any questions that you might have about any of our upcoming events. We'd love to have you.
Yes, we would. All right. Have a magical day, everyone.
Bye.